So today is section 4.4. So we're continuing our work with inverse functions, specifically logarithms. And today, a fairly light lesson, just using your calculator to do some evaluation of logarithms. So we've talked about common logarithms. We'll continue that today, natural logarithms, and then we'll talk a little bit about logarithms when you need to change the base because your calculator may not calculate all of that. So just to make sure that we know, anytime you see log of x, that means log base 10 of x. So anytime you see the word log and you see any kind of expression and there is no base, it is assumed that that base is 10. So you've got to assume anytime you see the word log by itself, that assumes the log is 10. Now, if you were to see something like the log base 4 of x, then the log is not base 10. So we will call this a common logarithm. Anytime the log is specified to be base 10, or if it's left blank, it is assumed to be base 10. So you've got to know that anytime you run into that in a problem. And so your calculator should have probably two different logarithms on it, unless you get really fancy, but it should have a log base 10 key on it. So let's just take a look and use our calculator to figure out a few things. The log of 1,000. So on your calculator, you should be able to just figure out what is the log of 1,000. And if I enter that, it gives me back that the value is 3. So it tells me that the log of 1,000 is 3. And that's what you see there. Now you should have known that, because if the log of 1,000, I don't know what that is. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Okay, what is the base? This means the log, because it's common root logarithm, log base 10 of 1,000 equal x. How do I convert logarithm to exponent form? This is my base. This is my exponent. So what power do I have to raise 10 to so that I get 1,000? That's 10 times 10 times 10. So x is equal to 3. So my calculator was able to figure that out exactly, okay? Now, what about the log of 42? Okay, let's go back to our calculator. The log of 42, so the log of 42, and we get an approximation, 1.62. So the log of 42 right here is 1.62, okay? Now it looks like in their calculator here, or on the slide here, they had the log of 142. Same thing, you can figure that out. So 142, so the log of 142 is 2.15, and that's what they have shown here. What about the log of 0.005832? So 0.005832, so the log 0.005832 is about negative 2.234, so negative 2.234. So somewhere in your calculator, just figure it out while we're doing this. You've got a log key. It may say log, on your calculator. So it may say log, or it may say log base 10. But anytime you see log by itself, that means log base 10. So be comfortable with how your calculator addresses taking a common logarithm. And I'll skip this for now. Now we also talked about, earlier we talked about the irrational number e. So in earlier sections, we talked about the value of e, okay? So what we have a logarithm base e. So the log base e, this is referred to as a natural logarithm. So before we had common logarithm was log base 10, natural logarithm is log base e. Now what you're going to see, anytime you see something like this, the log base e of x, that's the same thing as the ln of x. Okay, so this is just another way of saying it. Log base e, that means natural logarithm. Another way that we write that, just think of an abbreviation. If you see ln x, that means log base e. So on your calculator, you should have an ln key. So do I have one here? So your calculator may differ. You may have a separate key on this particular online version. You can hold down and see that there is an ln key. So when I hover over log, I see ln. So if I wanted to figure out, what if I wanted to figure out what is the natural log of 7? Okay, on my calculator, I would just come back over here and say I would like to figure out the natural log of 7. And that is 1.946. So it is 1.946. So on your calculator, you need to be comfortable with finding the log base 10, which is common log. Anytime you see the word log with no base, it's base 10. Anytime you see ln, that means log base e. That means natural log. Okay, so just get comfortable whenever you see those in an equation. So this is just what we were talking about here. When you see ln of x, that means log base e of x. So let's use our calculator to figure out a few of these. The natural log of e to the third power. So let's clear this. So natural log, and I'm going to have e, and I'm going to raise that to the third power. So natural log of e to the third power is 3. And that's what you see here. So natural log of e to the third is 3. What about the natural log of 142? So let's continue that. So natural log of 142. So natural log 142 is about 4.955, which is what you see right here. Natural log of 142 is about 4.955. Now the natural log of 005832. So back to my calculator, natural log, let me clear this out, natural log of 0.005832 is negative 5.14. So there you see that. So get familiar with your calculator, how it does all of the common logs and the natural logs, so that when you see this on any equation, you're comfortable with how your calculator addresses this, and they vary from calculator to calculator. Now, we did base 10 and we did base E. Now, some calculators are fancy and they could do things like the log base 1.2, okay? So some calculators can do that, some calculators cannot do that. So we need to have something that helps us to change the base so we can handle that. So anytime I see the log base A of an expression X, okay, I can change that base to B. So the ideal is I would want to change it to log 10 or log E, which my calculator can do. So to change it to any other base, you just take the new base, which you see here. So it's the log, the new base of X divided by the log, the new base of A, okay? So what this would mean, if I had something like the log base 2 of 7, well, let's change it to something our calculator can do. That's going to be the log base 10 of 7 divided by the log base 10 of 2. So I change the base from 2 to 10, and so I just say the log base, whatever my new base is 10, log base 10 of 7 divided by the log base 10 of 2. And that would give me this expression. So then I would use my calculator to figure out what is the log 10 of 7 divided by the log 10 of 2. So my calculator, that would be the log 10 of 7 and then divided by the log of 2. So it's the log of 7 divided by the log of 2, about 2.8. So let's do another example of change of base. How do I figure out the log 5 of 17? Now we can do this two ways. So on my calculator, we can do this with natural log and common log. So let's do it both ways. Let's do natural log, which is log base e, and then we'll also come down here and we'll do it with common log. This is base e, and this is base 10. So this is going to be so to change it to base 10, so it's the log base 10 of 17 divided by the log base 10 of that base, which is 5. So log 10 of 17 divided by the log 10 of 5. So I'll go to my calculator. So log 10 of 17, and then divided by the log 10 of 5. So log of 17 over log of 5, and that's about 1.76. Now I could do the same thing with common log. So I can say this is the natural log of 17 divided by the natural log of 5, and I should get the same answer. So natural log of 17 divided by the natural log of 5. So clear this. So natural log of 17 divided by natural log of 5, and that is 1.76. So those numbers should match. So just these examples, getting used to using your calculator for log base 10, common log base E, natural log, and when you see any other base, you'll need to convert it to one or the other. Convert it to, you'll use the change of base for log base 10 or log base E to evaluate that. So let's figure out this one, log base 2 of 0.1. Let's just go to log base 10. So this is going to be the log base 10 of 0.1 divided by the log base 10 of 2. So if I go to my calculator and clear this out, this is the log of 0.1 divided by the log of 2. And this is negative 3.32. So that is it. So fairly quick section, heavily on calculator, but it's just evaluating logarithms with your calculator. There are two flavors, log base 10, which is common log base E, which is natural log. When you see log without anything, that's common. When you see LN, that's natural log. And then how to change the base of logarithms.